right, here we are with another episode of the Sloth Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I'm Dr. Bob.
And we had some guests lined up for the next couple episodes, but they canceled at the last minute. So just going to be us talking about stuff. Oh, you know what? I didn't even check the comments before today. What an idiot.
Oh, for the most recent.
Yeah, you know, because Scott Craig says he kept doing stuff on Facebook about, oh, you should talk about this on the podcast. I'm like, dude, leave it on the comments. Start making comments on the comments. And he made some, but I forgot to check. But we got plenty of stuff to talk about anyway. But what did you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to let you lead off, but I will start by saying that this was the most precarious drive down yet.
Oh, right.
I came really close on two occasions today to, destroying my car and or going to the hospital. And it's surprising, too, because, Florida just recently passed some law. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if these are new laws or if they're just more strictly enforced, but one of them was regarding speeding.
Yeah, no, if you go over 100 now, you go to jail.
Yeah, well, the car that passed me today, on the right, I might add, and shooting the gap between me and a semi, which the gap really wasn't.
Oh, I thought he was off the road on the right.
No. I was in the center lane. There was a semi in the right lane. He came up behind me and then went around me on the right. And he could have gone to the left. He just chose that, and he had to be going 115, easy. Because, I was not going under the speed limit.
Right.
It was insane. So close to touching my car, so close. And then within 50 miles of that, the person in front of me just sort of had a brain fart or something, I don't know, and hit their brakes. And I had to, get out of the lane to avoid slam, even with my brakes pressed on. It was
just
bad.
On the highway, no reason, just hitting their brakes.
I don't know.
Not anything like a turtle or
No, I didn't see anything. There seemed to be no reason. It was almost a brake check. Like, I don't know whether they had a convulsion and their foot went down. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it was back to back.
I did have an ex-girlfriend once that had just passed out at the wheel. So I guess stuff like that does happen. So yeah.
We have a mutual friend or a friend from our past who was, institutionalized from somebody passing out. Pasco.
Oh.
The person.
Oh, that's because somebody passed out of the wheel?
Yeah, the person.
Oh, I didn't know
woman
that.
who hit him was an elderly driver, and I believe the story was that she had gone into a diabetic coma, diabetic sleep coma, whatever, from low blood sugar, and basically she was driving a big, heavy old person's car, like a Cadillac or something.
Didn't hit the brakes.
Didn't touch the brakes.
Right.
Just right into him. He was stopped at a red light, hit him from behind, and going a full 50, 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, that must have been
instantly turned him into like a 12-year-old, like no impulse or impulse control or inhibitions.
I wonder if he's still even alive.
I don't know. I haven't looked to see. It was horrible. It was a horrible story.
That guy
happened to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one time he told me he hadn't slept.
I think she got really fucked up in the accident too. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But he told me once that he hadn't slept in like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, something with the because he was so brain injured. He goes, I just can't sleep. I'm like, how do you survive that? I mean, don't you die after some period of time of that sleep?
I would think, or you at least maybe go insane. But traumatic brain injuries can have bizarre effects. There's actually recorded incidents of people, suffering brain injury or head injury, and then having an accent. Another accent for that. Tom Segura does a whole bit about it on stage. And some lady got hit, and then she's, after that, she talks like a Chinese person.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then they're not doing it as a bit.
Yeah, but what if they were?
That's dedication. That's the long con. That's dedication to the bit.
That's deep cover, man. That is awesome. deep cover. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the show a little bit. There's going to be a change coming up soon. We won't talk anymore about that. But I'm really impressed with the heat we're getting, especially from big shout out to Pat Kendrick. He's got all kinds of people watching our podcast, and that was one of our better episodes. But then I also want to, thank Tucker Carlson for what he said about, he actually said it about Nick Fuentes, which he says, hey, I respect anybody that can, just look into a camera and ad lib for 20 minutes is a genius. I guess we're geniuses. I don't know. I would have
never,
so weird.
I would never put it that way, but I guess there's a little bit of talent.
After I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, we kind of do that.
Who I really admire, though, because we're riffing off of each other, and occasionally we do have a guest, and we got little notes and stuff that we write down. You know what I'm about to say?
Yes, I do.
The master of what this art of what it is of that.
He's the master of the rant.
Tim Dillon,
yes,
is
the rant master.
I wish, and I've touched a shade of that on occasion.
Can. I've seen you rant where you
channel it.
But and the thing is, you do have to be pissed. But even though you're pissed, it's equally you're angry and still hilarious. Because I mean, as much as you make go, you're still the other guy's laughing. Because you still make it funny, so but I don't know. You got to work on being able to turn that on or something.
Right, you're going to have to orchestrate, find things that are my pet peeves, and just plan to irritate the shit out of me right before the show starts. It might come with some other issues, but it might be gold. You never know. Lightning in a bottle.
You're gonna have to leave the gun home that day.
Yeah. Lightning in a bottle.
Oh God. All right, so it seems like the show is kind of a little bit turned into. There's a show called what's it called? Sunday Morning. What the hell is it? It's a show about basically and they talk about all the shows on Sunday, all the political shows. So we're kind of, I think, until we turn into the actual Sloth Doctors, we're just turning it into a show that just comments on other podcasts.
Right. So, we're kind of a review of everything else with no technical jazz to go with it,
No, yeah, exactly. Well,
off the top of our heads.
But who needs it? Anyway. Yeah. But one of the first things I want to talk about is that chick, Slotnick. Is that her name? Slotnick?
I think it was Slotkin, but
anyway, she actually went on Colbert after the thing that I saw her, which was on Talking Points, which I don't know if you know who that is. That's got this chick, Crystal Ball on it, which she's pretty good. But she was on Colbert basically telling people, oh, yeah, no, the CIA, the deep state, no, they're just guys in mom jeans, there's no such thing, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, my God. But anyway, so she's on this other podcast, and the whole first 10 or 20 minutes, and this chick is an ex-CIA, well, not ex, she's CIA, all right? And she's like, and she's claiming on this other podcast, she's like, oh, I was just a low-level analyst, I don't really know anything.
Isn't there really only CIA and then deceased CIA?
Yeah, pretty much. And she's like, no, the whole time I was in the CIA, I never heard about anything about Epstein. Never heard. And she basically spent 10 or 15, maybe 20 minutes of the podcast squashing the Epstein story, saying, oh, nothing to see here, nothing here, no, there's this stuff, but it was all a hoax, this, that, and the other thing. But I'd love to talk about the economy. Now, this is where I wish I was on their show, so I could go, okay, then, let's talk about the $21 trillion that Epstein laundered.
Laundered, right.
Yeah,
we can turn this around and talk about money and finances.
It's insane, the amount of people, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And then...
Speaking of Epstein, how long do you think it is before... Are you banking on Maxwell gets offed in the Texas prison, or that she gets pardoned?
They have to pardon her if they're saying there's nothing there. What's she in jail for? It's insane.
Well, according to Tim Dillon, she's in jail for just about however long it's going to take to find, and I quote his words, a giant butch lesbian to go in there and kill her with a nail file.
Yeah. Well, they just moved her to some. I think they moved her down here. I think.
No, it's Texas.
Oh, okay.
Texas,
they moved her into like a minimum security something.
Yeah, minimum security, where apparently she's now allowed to have access to said nail file in like beauty supplies.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I'd go if I was her. I'd be like, yeah, I'm good here.
Right.
I don't know. And then the whole thing with the cameras now, it's like, when I first saw the whole, it's like, that's the video. That's crazy. I mean, that's one camera that doesn't even show. You can get through to the guy's cell without being on the camera, and they're saying that's definitive evidence. It's insane.
Yeah, it's nothing on it. It's a big nothing burger.
Yeah, and there's three other cameras.
The only bit of any information that you can glean from that, other than egress and interest parts, but the fact that you see that little blur of orange going up the stairs that do actually lead to his cell back in the corner for like 1 or 2 frames. But there's no way of knowing what that is or who that is or why.
And there's 3 other cameras that convenently would show exactly what we need to see that aren't working.
Exactly. Those
all 3 of them would have showed exactly what we need to see, but none of them were working.
So do you think that that'll be because the story does seem to change with every week, do you think that's what they're going to go with, or do you think they really will eventually release some really good AI footage of,
Who knows, dude? And that's one of the things I was going to talk about. It's like, all right, so say Epstein was running a honeypot blackmailing type operation, or whoever, Mossad, CIA, whoever it was, they better hurry up and use it, because pretty soon You won't be able to blackmail anybody. Everybody's going to just say, "Oh, that's AI."
Yeah. How long before it's not even admissible in court
Exactly.
anymore? Video
Like,
evidence.
Yeah, I mean, you better hurry up and get your blackmailing done now, because I mean, at least still now AI is like, oh yeah, that's obviously AI. Speaking of which, you know who Ian Carroll is, right?
Yes. He was the one who was subbing on Candace Owens' show when she was on maternity leave or whatever. Right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He pointed out this thing that. All right, so you know that guy that waltzed into the office in New York and shot the people?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've never met the guy, but I know of him.
Supposedly going to shoot NFL people and just happened to shoot the head of BlackRock instead. So they showed this guy, a picture of this guy after he had supposedly killed himself in an office, laying on the floor. But Ian Carroll points out, he goes, dude, if you look at this picture for any length of time, it's AI. And he points at the fact that there's a desk over there that like, oh yeah, that's not a real desk. It's AI photo. So why are they putting out AI photos?
I don't know. I mean, currently they say that they're pretty easy to spot, and there's even some I think they call them artifacts. There's artifacts embedded in the picture that are. But everything is improving. So eventually, it's
the thing that Ian Carroll pointed out is there's this weird desk that's kind of like a desk shelf looking thing, and it looks like there's a shelf down here, but yet at the end of the picture, the shelf is the same height it's obviously a fake picture,
right?
But if you don't really look for it, it doesn't look apparent until you're like, oh yeah, look at that, that ain't real. Yeah.
But every 6 months it gets harder to tell.
Why the hell are they putting out fake photographs if there's not? Why not? Why just tell the truth? What's so wrong with just telling the truth? I don't get it. Speaking of which, did I give you homework to watch the Tucker Carlson with the chick about the Oklahoma bombing?
No.
Okay. Well, now there's questions about that. Apparently, there's film of the Oklahoma bombing, like. Filming of like would have shown Tim McVeigh like park the truck, get out of the truck, leave.
Footage taken from where?
Even back then there were cameras around.
Okay.
There's video of it.
What year was that? That was
80 something.
I thought
maybe.
It was like 90 something.
It could have been 90. Actually, it might have been 90 something. I think it was 93 maybe or 94 or something. I don't know. But they have video of it, and it's never been seen. Nobody's ever released it. There's still a guy that a lot of eyewitnesses claim to have seen that they're not saying didn't exist.
Is it real video or is it AI video?
Well, back then they didn't have it.
They could make grainy.
Now they could.
Yeah.
Now they could. Yes,
it's just now being released.
Well, they're not releasing it. That's just it. They have no intention of releasing it, and it's been like 30 years. It's like, why not? What's?
Well, then how does if they've never released it? How does anybody who's seen it?
Nobody.
Well,
that's just it.
How do you know it exists?
Because it's like I don't know. The lady had some court documents or something. Well, and plus apparently they know it exists. I forget how she explained how it knows. But I think obviously somebody's seen it, but nobody that's talking has seen it. The media has never seen it. So it's just like, what the hell's going on with it? And I always, to tell you the truth, that never really seemed, because obviously the very first instinct back in those days were terrorists, like right. Islamic terrorists.
Right.
And then it was like, what? It was an American guy? What now?
I mean, the term domestic terrorist, wasn't he pretty much the beginning of that, the coining of that phrase?
Well,
I mean, he's not the first person to do it.
No. But here's the term domestic terrorist really surfaced after two big events, Ruby Ridge and Waco. And supposedly the story is that's why and that's what he said. I mean, they interviewed him and he's like, yeah, I did it because of Waco. But it's just a lot of questions that like, yeah, why haven't they released any video? They've got to have, there's back in those days, there's videos in convenience stores and shit like that.
Grainy and terrible. But
Yes. But that would have answered the question. Well, that's what they're proposing, is that the video would show the third suspect that they say doesn't exist, that they think they're speculating is basically an FBI guy that, and that's the other thing is none of the guys that they convicted of doing this or they claim had anything to do with this had near enough money to do what they did. It took a lot of money. You had to buy the fertilizer and rent the truck, and it was apparently cost about $50,000. And none of those guys had access to $50,000. Now, that's where the white supremacist militia may have come in because that's who the third guy may have been. But then again, who says that's not an FBI? I mean, the FBI may have created those things. It's just such, you just can't believe anything from the government anymore. You have to take anything from the government with a complete, well, that could be complete bullshit.
Every time they release files, once it's been long enough and the parties interested have either passed away or whatever, it's every single time. It's, we did that too.
And,
yes, we did that too.
Oh, and there's an interesting feud now between Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. They're accusing each other of being in the CIA. Which, of the two, I would have to probably go with Tucker. Because he's kind of lied about it. He actually.
I don't see either of those guys.
No, well,
passing the requirements.
Well, here's the thing: when they say in the FBI, that Kerouac guy was in the FBI, but there are a lot of people that are in they're assets. Right. They use them. They go, look, come here, we need you to do this.
Well, that's like saying a CI is a cop. I mean,
yes, yeah, exactly. And then
they do possess a minor get out of jail free card for little shit if they're a good CI or if they're valuable, True. But they're certainly not a cop.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, Tucker. He did an interview this year where he was claiming that he didn't know his dad was in the CIA until after he died, and this and that and the other thing. And then Nick Fuentes pulled up some clip from last year where he was going, "Oh yeah, I knew my dad was in the CIA," and then so it's like, I don't know.
Yes, but as he himself has said, you will not get consistency from me. You will get sincerity. So he really meant it both times when he said those two diametrically opposed statements, sincerely. But inconsistently.
He seems sincere. I mean, if he's a Fed or a CIA plan, he's not doing them any good. Speaking of which, did you hear about who Barry Weiss is?
No.
Well, this is some chick.
I know who Barry White is.
Yeah, maybe. But she's some chick that has a podcast, and apparently CBS.
Barry Weiss is a female?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she's those other Weiss guys' sister. The two...
like Berry, like strawberry?
I think it's Barry.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, though. But anyway, the point being, CBS just bought her podcast.
Oh, is this the show for
$250
This is the one Tim Dillon was talking about, shilling for Israel, yeah.
Yes. And I would like to say right now, if anybody that watches this podcast notices us take like a complete 180, we took the money.
Absolutely.
We'll take We'll take $25 million. A tenth of that
from either side,
from anyone. That's insane, and it's just and I don't understand it because
and thank you.
Yeah, right. But it doesn't make any sense because she is pro-Israel. So why are they spending all... I don't get it. Is that like a money laundering scheme? Or I don't understand why they're doing it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I did hear about her getting that $250 million, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like, why? And I mean, it's clearly not worth that. It can't be worth that much money. Even Joe Rogan's podcast is... Could you make back $250 million on Joe if you bought Joe Rogan?
I don't see it. How much did Spotify give him for that?
I don't know.
I think it was $100 million at the time. Of course, that was some years
and
ago.
that was like insane.
Well, the most anybody had ever gotten for one.
I thought it was maybe only $60 million, but you could be right. But whatever, it's fucking.
I bet young Ethan knows the answer to that.
Right. way more money than we'll ever see in our friggin' lives. But it's just.
Yeah, and he didn't really sell out to get the money.
Who's that?
Rogan.
No, well, I don't know, man. Every once in a while, like after watching Trump on there, and he kind of softballed Trump.
He definitely. But I guess what I meant by that is that he still does have people from both sides come on the show.
Yeah.
But
he's pretty honest. He's fairly honest, fairly authentic. That's why he's successful as he is.
He definitely softballed Kash Patel.
Yes, and not only that, you saw that episode I sent you with the cop that was saying we got to stop the fucking drug war, and Rogan knew that the whole time that Kash Patel was sitting going on and on about the fentanyl bullshit, and I'm like,
that's when he said, "Oh, what am I going to do? I know, I'm not going to." Because I've seen Rogan talk about how he didn't really press Patel.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
I thought it was that episode that you were talking about that you sent me.
No, I haven't seen him. Like, who pressed him? Do you know?
I can't remember.
Oh, no shit.
I might have been that Mike Baker guy.
Okay.
I think it might have been him.
And I think that guy's definitely, well, he is CIA.
Yeah, he's kind of oily. There's definitely something about him.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's CIA. He's ex-CIA, or, there's no such thing as ex. He's CIA,
but $250 million deal.
For the Spotify, for Rogan?
Yep.
Wow, I thought it was $100 million. So he got as much as Weiss did. So. And that was, God, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
maybe there is, he's shilling for somebody then. Who knows?
Who the fuck knows, man? It's crazy. But yeah, we'll take $25 million. We'll say anything you want us to.
Absolutely. Do damn near anything too. Nothing too degrading for that kind of cash.
God, I had something else I was going to go to after that, and I forgot what it was. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the
Patel being held to the fire on the Rogan, or?
Oh yes. So that reminds me. Do you know about the Nelk boys?
Oh wait, again, I only know this because I listened to one of the latest Dillons on the way down, and that's who he was.
The 30-something teenagers.
That's who he was saying. Brigitte needs to go on the show and drop trowel, basically.
Right. Well, them and Rogan,
and Rogan, yeah.
But the reason they got all this heat now is because they had Netanyahu on there.
Yes, or he was talking about how he prefers Burger King to McDonald's.
Yes.
Talk about the hard issues.
I'm telling you, that's what. First of all, these kids.
They didn't even press him on the fact that he's not allowed to get an actual cheeseburger. They didn't even ask him that.
What are you talking about?
Because you can't, that's not kosher. You can't put mixed cheese in.
No
beef.
shit, I didn't know that.
No,
but I mean, it's just so insane that, first of all, why would he go on that podcast? It doesn't, I mean, is he trying to appeal to and first of all, they're 30-something teenagers, for sure.
Why did Kamala Harris go on Call Me Daddy? Why do any of these people go on these podcasts?
Just bad PR teams, I guess, or something.
I mean, as much as I do love the Rogan show, why would Trump and Kash Patel go on any podcast? Or, why would J.D. Vance go on Theo Von?
If I wanted publicity, why Cash went on, that's a good question. But Trump makes sense. He wanted to get, but, yeah, but these idiots are they're way out of their league. And the whole thing, if you ever watch, they're like sitting there with Netanyahu, because I'm sure there's guys with Uzis right off camera.
Absolutely. I'm sure they got full body cavity searches that day before they even went into the studio.
So anyway, Tim Dillon referred to them as 30-something-year-old teenagers. So I think that makes us 50 and 60-something-year-old 30-ish,
yeah,
20s. We don't act our age.
Don't sue us, but it's definitely Arrested Development.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like, oh God, these guys were just so out of their league, and it's like, what the hell? I mean, I would love if Netanyahu would come on this podcast. I got some questions for him. And here's the thing: the whole issue of Israel and Hamas and all this bullshit is really done if you believe the fact that Netanyahu funded Hamas. If he's paying Hamas to keep them around while pretending to kill them, that's it. The argument's over. We're done. That's it. I mean, and that's what they've been claiming for quite a while, that he funded them through Qatar. And if that's the case, argument's over.
I agree. And I would also say that even if it is the actual black and white of Israel versus Hamas, and it's pretty simple and easy to say that they're both wrong. They're both wrong.
Yeah.
There is no right here. There is
and that's what I get into debates on this, obviously, on Facebook all the time, and I tell people all the time, look, I'm not going to pretend like you do that I give a shit about any of those people. I don't know any of them. I don't wish any ill on anybody, but hey, if they all kill themselves, don't skin off my knuckles. I don't give a shit. But stop using our money. That's my biggest thing. If you want to kill yourselves, fine, but shouldn't be funding it.
Yeah, you're both wrong. And both of what you're doing is wrong, but that doesn't mean we have to be involved.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
And it's just so obvious that, Trump is controlled by Netanyahu. I mean, there's no way to get around it. He wouldn't be doing half the shit he's doing if he wasn't controlled in some way by Netanyahu.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a connection between the two, but the United States has always used Israel as its dirt, to do its dirty work and or just be an outpost in the region. And it seems as if it always will.
It's a 51st state, basically. They would get statehood way quicker than Puerto Rico, I guarantee you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And and the one I saw a great meme. And it was a meme of this like old jacked up like ice dude, and he's got some guy with a Mexican flag going, "You guys are, anybody that does this should go to jail." And I'm like, yes, especially congressmen flying the frickin' Israel flag, and put them all in jail for not, for making Israel more of a, leave the immigrants that want to, let them think Mexico's great. I don't care about that.
I'm all for disallowing people to serve in Congress with dual citizenship, regardless of the country. The only political position I believe that you should be able to hold with dual citizenship is if you're the ambassador to or from the country in question, and that's a pretty small pool of people.
That's true.
I could see a reasonable explanation for that. Yeah. That's it. That's the only reason.
Good point.
Other than that, no. Your loyalty should have to be to one country only if you're going to be involved in the political process.
All right, we talked about Oklahoma. Oh, all right. So, do you want to talk about the new? I don't know. What do you want to call it? The Obama Gate coup bullshit, Comey. All this stuff that like they're all, Russia Gate is a hoax, and like, well, yeah, everybody's been saying that for years, but now we have proof. Yada yada yada.
I mean, it seems convenient.
It's completely.
You know what I mean?
It's completely a distraction from Epstein. Everything since Epstein has been a complete attempt to distract from Epstein. But still, they're trying to. I think they're going to try and conceivably get a conviction. Here's the whole thing: the way the plot they lay it out makes pretty good sense and seems pretty plausible and feasible. The only problem I have is if they're not trying, if they're trying to get Hillary elected and not Trump. Why did Comey tank her campaign by coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we're investigating Hillary"? Because that's
covering his own ass for the future, possibly. Or
that's what somebody else said, and I guess maybe. I mean, I guess that makes some sense.
The first thought that popped into my head, but doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but I mean, why don't I don't know? But I mean, he's already. I think he's already implicated. If he's, I don't know. That could be conceivably, but. That's the only thing that really sticks out about that whole thing. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would, if he's trying to rig the election against Trump, why would he throw her under the bus? But, I don't know. Speaking of throwing under the bus, I love when Trump made the comment, the Epstein files are just only stupid liberals believe that. I'm like, so you're calling Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino stupid liberals. And listen, look, I know you're trying to play 40 chess, but you got to remember which pieces are yours. You can't just start kicking guys off the.
So has he actually sued South Park yet, or is he going to? I know there was talk of it.
I don't know.
Have you watched the episode?
I have not. I have no way to watch that. Well, there's only the one, right?
Well, the one in question, I believe there's another one out this season. But
I was going to say, I think they've got another one out.
Season 27, episode 1. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a bunch of. I saw the highlights, the clips, or whatever. I'm not a huge South Park fan. I don't know. I like the show. It's not a bad show. I don't. It's just that don't feel compelled to watch it for some reason.
I just thought, based on the subject matter, that you'd want to see this one. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the highlights, but
I don't know where I would see it.
They go pretty hard in the paint on all of the whole episode.
I'd have to look up like Comedy Central on YouTube or something, maybe.
Yeah, I watch it on Paramount Plus, but I think it's on Comedy Central too. If you have cable.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just it. I don't know.
You might be able to just rent it on YouTube or something. Of course, you'd have to sign in for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you could leave comments.
That's true.
So it does come with some benefits.
Yeah, we should really do like a Mystery Science Theater thing one time. And there's so many old crazy movies. I wish I remember the name of that one that looked like it was like Rocky Horror meets. I don't know. It was so weird, so weird. And there's another weird movie that I was gandering at. Yeah, back in those days, they made some weird freaking movies. I mean, did they just have to spend money, do you think, on making some of these, like some of the B and C movies?
Yeah. Sometimes a studio will just make a movie that they have no intention of releasing just so they can maintain the rights. They did that to Fantastic Four has at least one, if not two, movies that were never intended to be released just so that they could the company in question could hang on to the rights to make it eventually make a good one. So, yeah, they do that. They definitely do that. And sometimes it's a tax write-off. Sometimes it's a vanity project, usually fueled by cocaine and or a trust fund. There's all kinds of ways that it happens.
And that could easily be I wonder. Repo Man. That was the one. You ever see that movie?
That was with Estevez, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's one of those weird cult movies that. That seemed like somebody was definitely cocaine in a trust fund on that one.
How about the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai?
Oh yeah. I think that was even. That was almost an A movie.
Almost. I mean, it had some stars.
Yeah.
And I would say the closest real life counterpart to Buckaroo Banzai would be Sir Brian May of Queen. A knight, a rock star, and an astrophysicist. Oh. You know what I mean? Okay. Like he's pretty.
I was wondering what aspect. I was like, he doesn't look like any of them.
PhD, like just a genius scientist and a rock star with the big hair. Like he's pretty close to Banzai there.
That's true. There are all kinds of characters like that in the realm of fiction that are like expert, like James Bond. Oh, you're the expert of this and expert of that.
I have been. I went back and replayed an old video game. Right, so I'm sure you never played either one of these, but a couple of years ago, the big rage was Red Dead Redemption 2.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
But no, I've never played.
The original Red Dead Redemption has a really good DLC called Undead Nightmare, which is like a zombie game. It was only like $10 when it came out as an additional thing at the end of the game. And it's better than some standalone games anyway. So nostalgia had got a hold of me, and I decided to go back, get the game on Steam, and play it again. And it is so much fucking better than the sequel in almost every single way. Like, I don't understand how Red Dead Redemption 2 got as much love as it did, because other than the story and the graphics, it is pretty to look at. Every other aspect of the game is just downright horrible. There's so many... not improvements, but disprovements, whatever the opposite of an improvement is. But they really did a disservice to the game and they tried to make it so realistic that it basically becomes a cowboy simulator where your character has to remember to eat, shave, bathe, sleep, wear the right clothing based on how hot or cold it is outside. If you bump into somebody, it starts an instant fight.
That reminds me of fishing in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's a needless extra activity. In the first game, if you do cause a ruckus in a town or an area or whatever, and the cops notice you, get a bounty like in Grand Theft Auto. All you have to do is holster your gun, and they will come and arrest you, and you pay your fine, and then you're free to go. Right. And so you do that right away when you have a very low bounty, and it's no issue. For some reason, in the sequel, the cops are like L.A. cops back in the day. Like, there's no, you can holster your gun. They're just going to shoot you until you die. So the only thing you can do is either try to run away, which increases your bounty slightly, or God forbid, shoot your way out, which now you're shooting cops in the game. So now your bounty just skyrockets, and there's no way to surrender in the game. They made the map 3 times bigger, at least. And however, they forgot to make it so that, all right, so in the first game, no matter where you are, no matter what mission you do, no matter what corner of the world of this game you find yourself in, all John Marston has to do is whistle, and boom, your horse is there. It doesn't matter if you rode there on a cart, if you rode there with somebody else, if you were tied up and taken there, it doesn't matter. Your horse is right there. In the sequel, they wanted to make it much more realistic. So at least 10 times in the course of my playthrough, I do a mission. I end up in bumfuck Egypt, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. I hit up to whistle for my horse, and I get a little message that says, your horse is out of whistling range. So now you have to walk through the desert in a game doing nothing except avoiding savage wild animals until you get close enough for your horse to hear you. I don't want a game to be that realistic. Yeah, I want to play the game. Yeah, it's not fun at all. If I wanted to shave, get a haircut, and eat, I'd just get up and go do those things.
Good point.
Horrible game. Got way too much attention. And they never even released an Undead Nightmare DLC for it. Which is the whole reason I went back and played the first game anyway, is because the zombie part was so much fun. It combines zombies with, the old Wild West. It's kind of a cool mashup.
Are there any movies like that?
I can't think of a movie that does that. There is Cowboys and Aliens, which is aliens in the Old West.
I think there is one movie with like... oh God, it's the black guy, and it's like all the cast. I believe it's like a BET movie or something. It's all black people, but I think they have a Western vampire themed movie.
I like it when they smash 2 genres together that I've never witnessed before. There's a movie, I want to say it's called Overlord. Young Ethan might be able to check that for us for a second. I think it is Overlord. I think I know what you're talking about. And it's a mashup between like a World War II movie and a horror flick with like mutants and zombies and stuff. And
which
it's
is,
really, really
truthfully
cool.
is not that not that far from realism,
right.
because that's what they were trying to kind of invent back then with their Dr. Mengele.
I just recently watched the remake of Nosferatu, the one that came out last year in 2024. Right. That was pretty interesting.
I've never seen that. Yeah, I've heard that was a good movie.
Yeah.
And, it looks like there's a couple of decent movies coming out.
There is one unnecessary shot of Vampire Schlong, which I really wasn't expecting. Like, he just stands up out of his casket there, and he's got his meat stick swinging. You're like, oh, it didn't really.
And what's his name?
It's Bill Skarsgård. It's one of the Skarsgårds. It's the guy who played Pennywise the Clown in It.
Oh, okay. It's not who I thought it was. I thought it was the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. What's his name?
Willem Dafoe. No, he's in it. But
is he?
But he's not the vampire.
Oh,
he's
okay.
not Warlock, no.
Okay. All right.
He plays essentially the character of Van Helsing, but they don't call him Van Helsing. Right, because Nosferatu was they basically stole Bram Stoker's Dracula, and they released this movie Nosferatu in 1924, and so they renamed all the characters. Instead of Count Dracula, it's Count Orlok. Instead of Van Helsing, I can't remember the doctor's name, but there's no Jonathan Harker. His name is Thomas something. I can't remember what last names were.
There's going to be a Nobody 2.
I've seen the previews for it,
but I can't imagine that being that great. I mean,
part of the joy of the first one is just because it's so unexpected.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Now it's like, okay, now he's just going to kick everybody's ass. I get it now,
Well, I mean, even in the first one, though, he didn't just he took a lot of lumps.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Especially when he was, getting back into the groove.
And they're saying Odenkirk is like heavy into that shit now. Like he's not stopping on the training. Like he's all working out.
I'm really surprised. Well, I mean, I'm surprised and not surprised, because didn't he have a heart attack while he was making the first one?
Yes.
So you would think he would want to tone it down, but then again, maybe he figures I got to get back into. I got to get into shape. I got to get in fighting for him.
No, they say he's really into that shit. I saw an interview with his martial arts coach or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, he's driven. He loves it. He's going for it. Like, okay, interesting. He's not the kind of guy you would think that would be into
I like the first one. And it's also got was it Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah.
The old guy. Yeah, he's still in it. That guy's got to be almost 100 years old at this point.
He's getting up there. I'm sure he's 80-something. I think he's like 84, 85. Who else was somebody? Oh, yeah, I saw a picture of somebody that was like, holy shit, they're still alive? I can't remember who it is now, though.
I saw a picture the other day of Kathy Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. She looked like one of the orcs, like a photo negative.
Like Pennywise.
Yeah, she kind of looked like a photo negative of one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings, but like all color washed out, like a pale version.
Oh, God.
It was hideous.
Yeah, she looks kind of scary. And to think, back in the day, she was kind of hot. I don't know. Borderline hot, I would say. But speaking of anciently old.
We were all hot when we were young, or at least hotter.
Have you heard about the Pelosi Act?
Yes.
How great would it be? That's your political legacy, is they named an insider trading legislation about you, the Pelosi Act. You can't cheat on Wall Street
her
anymore.
or her husband. Neither one of them.
Right. And here's the funniest thing. All right, I've talked about Jim Cramer before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They showed a graph of the Pelosi, like the Pelosi fund. You know what that is? Where the people like just whatever she invests in, they invest in. And this graph of the Pelosi fund is like straight up. And then they go. And then they showed the only thing that does almost as well as the Pelosi fund is the anti-Cramer fund. It's just people that do the exact opposite, and it showed this same trajectory on making tons of money. I was like, God almighty, that's just hilarious. The whole thing is just, God.
But how many people would have to mimic that Pelosi fund before their own investments literally affect the market and thereby negate its effect?
Well, no, I don't think it matters. It's not like a racetrack or anything. It's like if you get in on a company that's making a lot of money, you're going to make a lot of money. I mean, it does dilute a little bit, I guess, your returns if too many people get in on the investment, but I don't think that makes that much difference. But you know what it does? It just proves that.
So how many Americans is this bill going to hurt that have been living on the fact that they could just mirror Pelosi's investments and soon they won't be able to?
Yeah, I don't know.
And nobody thought about these guys.
You have to find somebody else that's insider trading to follow. Yeah. But I mean, that just shows the whole concept of Wall Street has been so corrupted. I mean, I know the basics of it. All right, you start a company, you go public because you want people to, invest in your company and use the money to grow the company, and you pay them dividends, yada, yada, yada. But then it's got so intertwined with the, how many stocks you can print and trading the stocks. And that's why, all these billionaires don't ever pay any taxes because they get paid in stocks. So it's like the whole thing.
And then they live on loans that they take out, and then they use the stocks to repay the loans, and then they claim the loan as a tax. The whole thing is insane.
Oh, let's talk about that. I don't think you're actually Jewish.
Oh no, I'm not. My mother wasn't Jewish.
Well, I mean, not only that.
And exactly. Never.
Well, you're not Ashkenazi, right? So you're not really ethnically from the region, right?
Well, no. My father's side of the family they're from that region.
Oh, really?
Ashkenazi Jews, yeah.
Well, no, they're Ashkenazis from like Russia and stuff.
Poland and Russia or some area like that.
So it's not like you're even from the area of Israel.
not Semitic, Sephardic. Yeah.
Right.
It's all so convoluted.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I mean, I know that it is both an ethnicity and a religious connotation.
And I don't think you're either.
Well, I'm certainly not. But in my opinion, they should all only be religious connotations. I mean,
I mean,
you shouldn't call yourself a Muslim if you don't worship, you know what I mean? You shouldn't call yourself a Jew if you're not a worshiping Jew. You shouldn't call yourself a...
And so many people call themselves something. It's like you're
Christians
not really.
don't ever call themselves Christians if they're...
Dude, Opie calls himself a Jew, and his kids go to Catholic school. It's like, and he goes to church every Sunday. Like, you're not Jewish. Whatever.
I'm staunchly opposed to all organized religion, as you well know.
Yeah, that's pretty well
established by anybody that knows me even slightly.
As well with me. I mean, look, if you want to be spiritual, fine. But if you want to try and tell me some bullshit out of a 2,000-year-old book is exactly how you should live your life, come on, man.
Right. And don't ever tell me something that you can't know, that nobody can know.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't, don't tell me you know what happens after you die.
Exactly.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to make that statement and be truthful about it. So just don't.
It's funny, too.
You can think you know, and you can believe all you want, but you don't know.
And it's funny, too, is if I ever argue with like religious people about how much bullshit it is, I tell them, I go, look, I hope you're right. I hope you're 1,000% right. And I go up there and there's an old guy with a beard and Jesus sitting beside him. And I got to go through St. Peter to get through the pearly gates. And I hope you're right. But that's just so incredibly insane to believe any of that shit. It's anyway. But the inverse Kramer. How that guy is still on TV. And, it's funny, our big brother's watching all the time. So as soon as I ever mention that guy, I get these things on Facebook to join some group, to pay to be in a group to listen to what he has to say.
Nice.
Like, what? Who the hell is... I don't know. It's crazy. You got anything else?
I was going to save mine for the next one.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh, do we? I can't see it because of the glare. I have no idea what that says.
Well, I did want to, harken back to what I was saying about the drug war. Can we just say that the drug war is basically an extension of slavery? All right, so slavery got banned, so then they went Jim Crow. And then when Jim Crow ran into a dead end, they basically had to make up drug laws and drug wars to keep, the slaves in check.
Well, I will say that a lot of the original drug laws, even before this Controlled Substance Act of 1971, were done entirely for racist purposes. Exactly. I mean, heroin and cocaine they were claiming was causing black men to rape white women, and they essentially said the same thing about marijuana with regards to Mexicans because the only group of people
and that's
that
in
really
like the 20s, right?
Yeah, 20s and 30s. Yeah.
And then Nixon comes along and he's like, hey, look, we can't have these Black Panthers giving white kids acid and making them realize that we're all full of shit.
Right.
So,
And then hallucinogenics are an even bigger threat to the establishment because they enable people to think in ways that are entirely not good for the powers that be.
Do you remember that guy's name that was on Rogan? Was it Gregarian or something like
Sarko. I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Sarko. The guy that was a policeman and as well as
I think it's Gregarian.
Psychotherapist or something with.
Yeah, he's a psychotherapist and a cop. And the thing is,
so quickly, you know what? When I was listening to that episode, all I could think of when I heard him talk was, remember the show Beavis and Butthead? Right. Remember the art teacher Van Driesen?
No.
The guy with the guitar. That was okay, guys. Like we really need to calm down now. I could just my mind. Sarko was like him, like this hippy dippy cop.
Yeah, true.
Like I appreciated some of the things he said, but I don't know.
The thing is they laid out a great argument as to what needs to be done and why it needs to be done, and then both of them go, "Yeah, it's just going to take a long time. It's going to," and they're like, then they're all defeatists. It's like, no, just fucking do it.
Well, they were all over the place too because there's several times they were, well, there's no way because Schedule 1. has no medicinal value and stuff. Well, like they have skirted around that. I mean, look at how many states have medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Medical marijuana is still federally a Schedule I substance.
Absolutely,
so it's clearly being prescribed for medicinal use by doctors in some like 25 or 26 states, and that's not even counting the ones that have gone full recreational. So it's only a matter of time. I believe that the DEA had I had heard that there was some plans to vote on rescheduling cannabis in January of this year, but then it got postponed for 90 days or something like that.
Who cares? If you're not going to legalize all of it, and look, this half-ass legalized shit like they do in this state where it's like...
Well, here's really the biggest factor, I think, that why people with medical cards or people that smoke recreationally in states where it's recreationally would want it to be moved from Schedule I to 3 is because of the whole firearms and Second Amendment issues.
Right.
Because once they reschedule it, you will, as a medical card holder, you'll be legally allowed to go purchase a gun again, which you should be because
and buy ammo.
Yeah, exactly. You can be an alcoholic and go buy a gun. So I really don't understand.
And oh shit, I was just going to say something. God, got too damn stoned today.
This slipped right out of your head.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
What are you talking about? Anyway, what else you got? God, there was something I was just going to say about that, too. Damn it. Oh, well. You got anything else?
No, not really.
Let's see what else. Oh, you know what? I really should have looked this up before, but I sent you that video of Warren Sapp. I wonder whatever came of that. Like, he said he was going to sue him for millions and millions of dollars. And if anybody doesn't know, I'm talking about, I guess Warren Sapp got arrested a couple of years ago in Tampa for basically, on a really bullshit charge. They tried to charge him with obstruction, and he wasn't doing anything. He didn't. But
he was driving while black, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't even driving. He wasn't even driving. He was just. First of all, the cops were extra paranoid because there were a bunch of black people there. There were like 50 people there. I don't know if it was because of Warren Sapp or some other reason, but somebody had gotten a ticket, I guess, or something, and the cop was done giving the ticket, and Warren Sapp started asking him questions. That's obstruction.
Asking questions.
Yeah. So they arrested him. And, well, of course, he didn't, they were like, oh, you can't. And he's like, he said, no, you can't, He pled his case on the scene, so he got arrested. And then he said he was going to sue him for like 20, which he has a great case. I mean, I don't see why. And I'm wondering, well, that's maybe why you didn't hear anything else about it, is because usually when they give out.
Paid him.
They give out $20 million that comes with an NDA, what is it called? Non-disclosure?
NDA, yeah.
NDA, yeah. He said, hey, we'll give you the money, but don't tell anybody. We don't want the taxpayers to know we just wasted $20 million arresting a guy for, nothing. Yeah, so it's so crazy. Anyway, I was going to talk about that, but that's so old that I could have probably Googled it and found out.
You're probably right, though. That is a good reason why I wouldn't bring it up. They probably just paid him. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, I try to, I all day on Facebook post, the audit videos and videos like that where cops are just beating the crap out of people for no reason. And it's just, if nothing else, it's so bad for the good cops, if there are any, and it's so crazy. And there's another point I was going to make, and I kind of lost it.
Oh, did you hear Gary Busey got Me Too'd?
No.
It's some incident that occurred years or decades ago or something. He came out and apologized about whatever it was.
Was it before he had his motorcycle accident, or was it after he was insane?
It was after, and I believe that he is trying to, or maybe tried to claim a little bit that it was the TBI that might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, he's insane. Of course, you can't hold him accountable for anything he does.
But he did, in his apology, say it was not accidental, and I have no, something like I have no excuse. But I've heard other people come to his defense.
The guy is insane.
For sure. But I will say this. Before or after the accident, can you imagine how traumatic it would be to see those teeth coming at you in a sexual fervor? It would be like being sexually assaulted by a horse.
Yeah, people I love where people sitting there like, oh, he's just so crazy. I'm like, no, you guys don't realize he basically smashed his head without a helmet on a curb, and basically almost he's lucky he's not like Mike.
Yeah,
he
could definitely bite a person's fingers off though, just munch them off like biting through a carrot easily.
That's true. Fucking Gary Busey. God bless him though, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're near that guy, you got to be thinking to yourself, all right, guard up. The guy's insane.
Right.
Don't.
There was an incident. I don't know what team was playing recently. I saw a quick little short video about this in the WNBA where some players got their wig knocked off. And immediately ran off the court and back into the locker room.
Have you seen the dildos getting thrown on?
I have. Not even in the package though. Nice and
no, of course not in the package. And the funny thing is the first one I ever saw him do, I saw the cops going up into the stands like they, were going to get somebody. So how are they getting away with it now? Do you like, somebody's got to have seen you do it.
Right.
I don't know.
We know how they're smuggling them in. We don't know is how they're retrieving them during the performance and then whipping them out there.
That's true. That's and it's, look.
Because then they'd be wet. And when they hit the ice, they would freeze right to it like a tongue on a flagpole.
I don't even watch NBA, let alone WNBA. It's like, God almighty.
Shane Gillis was great at the ESPYs when he introduced the one chick. And he's like, no, that's my buddy's wife. I knew you wouldn't know who that was.
That was great, man. I got to say, it's like, while looking at the crowd of that as they're getting roasted, and they're all just like, it's so funny, man. It's the fact that they were just like not even in on it at all.
No.
It's just that makes it so much better. And I love this Epstein joke. Yeah, there's supposed to be an Epstein joke in here, but I guess it deleted it. I guess it deleted itself.
I never wrote it. Yeah, I had a list of jokes, but
I guess I never wrote it. I guess it got deleted. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, we got to start doing. We got to get funnier guys on this show. There's this guy Steve. It's a friend of my cousin's. I've been trying to. Before we even started the podcast, I was like, dude, I got to get you on my podcast. It's too bad our guests weren't showing up. They would have probably.
Isn't Cousin Mike coming on one of these days?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but yeah. Well, I don't think that we could do that here, but yeah, he wants to do DMT and on the podcast. I don't think they'll let him do it here.
What if we get a doctor's note?
Yeah,
if he
medicinal DMT.
Well, we might not be able to get him to actually, a doctor's note for DMT. But if he was to join that Brazilian church of the whatchamacallit, he would be exempt.
What the fuck?
There's a church, some sort of Brazilian church that has been founded in the United States, and if you are a member of this church, they have given people a religious exemption, and they perform ayahuasca rituals and take ayahuasca.
Okay,
inside the United States, much like certain Native Americans, Indian tribes, still use peyote and are still allowed to harvest and use peyote.
Well, do you know why my cousin wants to do DMT? He says there are people that do it so much that they're like mapping some different universe. And he wants to go.
He wants to go see the machine elves.
I guess. I don't know, man.
Have you ever done it?
No.
I did it one time. I didn't see any machine elves.
You did DMT?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
When I lived in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah. Through a friend of a friend, I met somebody. I can't remember his name right now, but it was a weird name. It was like, remember in Indiana Jones and they make fun of him for having a dog? Oh, you were named after the dog? This guy had some he was named after a state or a town or some weird shit like that. And he came over. It was this like powder. I smoked it in a bowl. You basically put like a bowl with weed, marijuana, and you just put a little bit of this on top, and that's how I smoked it.
So what was it like?
First of all, it tastes fucking atrocious. It's like the most chemical, nasty, burnt, horrible smell ever. Tasted like purely synthetic weirdness. And honestly, I didn't really. And he said I did a substantial amount. Like I hit it like 5 times. At one point, I kind of felt like I was like diving into like a kaleidoscope, like falling into like a swirly pattern.
So
or something.
like acidy kind of.
Yeah, acidy, but very short lived. It didn't last real long. Huh. I certainly didn't communicate with any otherworldly intelligence, and I didn't go to any.
My cousin's claiming that people spend hours.
City. I certainly didn't go anywhere to But then again, maybe. I didn't do enough of it, or I didn't do it enough times. Now, one of the things that's interesting about the ayahuasca versus the DMT is that the experience is much, much longer. Like if you do ayahuasca, apparently
it's
you're
like
on
doing mushrooms.
Hours and hours.
Yeah.
And the only reason that they're able, and it's cool that these Amazonian Indians ever figure this out through trial and error and whatnot, but you can't orally ingest the DMT molecule unless you take an MAOI inhibitor. And one of the plants involved in the preparation of this ayahuasca drink is an MAOI inhibitor. And don't ask me what that means or stands for, but that's what enables your body to metabolize it through orally instead of smoking it.
Now, and do you think this is something somebody just came up with through trial and error, or do you think the aliens showed them how to do it?
I think it was trial and error.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know your stance on aliens. All right, so give them the number. I almost got it now. It's 904-549.
Right, you're close.
I don't have the last four.
904-549-9024. I can't do it unless I do the whole thing.
9024. Okay, there
9024. 549-9024.
And have you checked that lately? We gotten anybody?
Never, not a single
So
one.
somebody
no.
call and
No.
just say hi or something. Just
Exactly.
just so we know that it works.
Right? Even just call and curse us out would be fine.
Yeah,
Literally
somebody.
anything.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was mentioning you on the way here. I'm down to like my last 3 shirts.
Right.
So I'm going to have to start recycling shirts you've seen before. I should apologize for that in advance.
I think I've worn this one before.
And if anybody wants
so
to start,
okay.
just sending in shirts randomly, that'd be great. You remember that you don't watch Kill Tony that much, do you?
No.
There was a time back, and as a matter of fact, it must have been during the COVID time because they were doing like no audience episodes or whatever. But at some point, William Montgomery said he needed shorts, and literally for like 10 episodes, people would send him shorts. Like he'd get like 30 pairs of shorts every episode, and they would have him come out and model them and stuff. It was hilarious.
Nice.
But so yeah, send us shirts, and we'll see you next time.
Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you next time.
All righty.